Okay.
Log out Facebook real quick.
Live. What's that?
No. We're good. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
You wanted to go get something to drink or something?
Oh no, I'm good, buddy. I'm good. All good, sir.
All right. Yes, we're now going live. Hello, welcome everyone who's watching. If you're watching like from this moment right away, sorry about the delay. If you guys have been watching, we're starting about 15 minutes late, so sorry about that. It's because of me, just family stuff here. It's kind of very hard to control the time. But anyway, this is the second episode of Builder Interviews, just this series here. I'm joined by my friend Win. Win, you want to introduce yourself? Who are you?
Oh, my name is Win Eiam-ong. I am a paint pusher, or I am actually also known as a paint pusher. I build plastic robots and rust them up real good, I guess. Well, I'll do my best anyway.
Well, apparently your best is pretty good, so seems to be working out for you.
Well, yeah, I have fun. Basically, I have fun. It is my hobby. I do. It relaxes me. You know what I mean? I come back from work all day, and then you get all the socializing stuff done and all that. You get your own time, and like it's just gunpla. It's just modeling in general. I love it. I really, really love it.
I like your room there. We've talked before on the Gunpla Talk, so
Yep.
I think we talked about this last time. But I like your room there. It's very you, based on like your Gunpla style and stuff.
Yeah, I'm steampunk. Basically, I love steampunk. My shop is actually steampunk as well, right? My shop is basically this room, right? But a lot bigger and a little bit brighter because of like a board gaming shop kind of thing, right? But all about rusts and pipes and cogs and gears and all that, right?
So you're the owner of a shop?
What?
You're the owner of a shop?
Yes. It is actually like a hobby, another hobby, I guess, right? But I make money from it, so I'm not too sure if you consider it a hobby. But it's sort of like,
understand.
Yeah, it's sort of like just a break from my normal routine or my normal day job kind of thing, right? Essentially, I just want a cool place where I can hang out with people, like friends and all that. You know what I mean? Occasionally, the cool thing we do is we not exactly kick everyone out, but like claim we're closed for the day or the night rather. And I get a bunch of my friends over and we'll play like Game of Thrones, and every time we roll a 1 or something like that, we take a shot. So it's sort of like a drunken Game of Thrones board game kind of thing, right? So yeah, you know what I mean? It's just a really cool place to hang out.
So after hours, it's your kind of man cave away from home.
That's right, sir. That is right. My girlfriend, right? She's like, all right. Basically, I won Japan. I won a trip to Japan for 3 years. Right. Not bragging, just it just happened, right? But I always ask her like, hey, you want to come to Japan with me and all that? And she was like, when I had enough of your nerdy shit for the whole entire year. Give me a break. Go. Do whatever you want, buy whatever you want, but like just remember we have a limited space in our room. So like, you know, minimal buying, please. That's all she asked, just minimal buying. Which fair enough.
Yeah. That's when you're going to a place like Akihabara, that's I think probably easier said than done, but
oh man, yeah, Yellow Submarine alone. Right? Yeah. My eyes dilate and I start frothing at the mouth. I'm bits, parts.
Yeah. There's high demands. I don't know if like telling you to just don't buy too much. I'm not sure what like higher demand she could be putting on you like for a trip like that.
Right.
That's about like the tallest order she could possibly give you, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, like she trusts me, you know. She knows I ain't gonna cheat on her. I ain't gonna like go off and do crazy stupid things. Well, I might do crazy stupid things, but she's more afraid.
You're there for
overwhelmed
short time, right?
What?
You were there for a really short time, right?
Yeah. Basically, usually we go for 3-4 days, maybe, right? Just like 2 or 3 days before the event. and then the event, and then we come back here, right? So yeah, but that's kind of cool, but at the same time, it's like it's a little bit awkward. But what they do here, Dream Toys, which is the company that brings Gundam into Thailand, right? When we do the GBWC event here in Thailand, you know, they sell stuff and all that, right? And if you buy over a certain limit, you get to go in a little prize draw kind of thing, like other people kind of thing, and they get a chance to win a free trip to go to Japan with the winners of the regional winners, right? So we got to hang around with them for 2 or 3 days, so we can't actually go into a hotel. I know Tim is there right now with his wife, right? You know, just chilling out Disney and all that, right? But yeah, we can't really do that until the night before the event. We get to go in the hotel. We just got to go around, like, you know, sightseeing and all that, which is fine. You know, I do love Japan, right? Just awesome culture.
Yeah.
And ramen, just ramen.
Of course. I actually didn't eat any ramen on my last trip there, but it was a very short trip. I like ramen, but even when I lived in Japan, I really only ate ramen when it was like 3 a.m. like outside when I want to take a break.
Boiling thing. It's the noodles.
That was like between the second and third clubs was like ramen break.
Yeah, definitely. I'll tell you a little thing about Thai people. Yeah, I love this. It's one of those quirk little things that we have, right? Whenever we go to any country, we'll bring like instant noodles, right? You know, packet. We call it mama, right? But it's basically instant noodle ramen kind of thing.
Yeah, Koreans do that too from here.
Yeah, but we don't actually boil them. What we do, right? We open it up, you know, grab all the like all the flavorings and all that out, kind of thing, right? We scrunch it up and then we put it all in, right? And then we shake it, so all the flavoring goes all around, right? And then we eat it like that, right? Yeah, I did that once with a couple of my friends, like Thai friends, when we went to Japan, right? And all the Japanese were like, you know, because like, why would you do that, you heathens?
Yeah, that's true. I've never seen anyone do that in Japan, but like here in Korea, they do that a lot too, especially like kids. Yeah, especially like my students and stuff. That's like a really common snack for kids, just to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for people in the States or like people outside of Asia, I guess, and like I guess that would sound kind of strange. To me, it's not that surprising. I think, oh yeah, but
yeah. My girlfriend, she's English, right? And she's been in Thailand for a good 11 years now. And she still has a thing for ice cream on bread. Like, she doesn't understand the concept. Those two don't go together.
Ice cream and bread, that's, I guess, so it's kind of like...
It's so good. It is so good, dude. You have to try it, right? Basically, we have coconut ice cream, right? And the way they serve it, they put, like, sweet sticky rice or whatever kind of thing, like nuts and you know the normal sprinkling stuff, right? And then you put ice cream on it.
Tried that.
It's so good. It's weird. It sounds really weird, but it's so good. Yeah, but she refused to eat it. Well, she ate it once and she was like, no, it just doesn't make sense. So.
I've tried that coconut ice cream when I was visiting there in Bangkok before. It's good.
Yeah.
But bread, I don't know. I'm picturing that just being like a cream puff, but not all the way around.
Imagine cold Nutella, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like a sweet kind of spread on the bread, but cold.
it would be nice. It's good. It like the bread can just like soak up the ice cream as it melts, so like it wouldn't drip or anything. So.
I can tell you're just trying to figure out a way to go, I ain't gonna try that, Win. But not.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that would be convenient. It sounds like a good idea, like for convenience sake. But,
it's really good. Don't knock until you try it, my friend.
All right. Well, anyway, so yeah, I guess that's a good point too that we should bring up, just in case for those people who aren't familiar with you, that you're living in Thailand, that you're Thai there. Are you living in Bangkok or around there or a different part of?
Yeah, I am smack daddy in the center of Bangkok, kind of thing. I have like a condo, kind of like a studio flat kind of thing. 2 rooms. This room, which is kind of all right. Basically, we live in both rooms, kind of thing. But I get to take charge of all the decoration in one room, and she gets the decoration in the other room, right? So the other rooms are like, I'll say like really colorful 60s, 70s hippie kind of thing, right? And this room is total dark and steampunk and old vintage kind of thing. So yeah. So I live in the center of Bangkok, and it's really easy to get around here, kind of thing. Yeah.
I hope it will seem easier next time. When I was there, I don't know. I think I was just very unprepared because I found it. Well, at first I didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
The other thing was, just was not used to just like how to get around or anything. So.
Well, if you come next time, drop me a line. Stay in my place.
Yeah, of course.
More than happy to have you and your family, sir.
That's one of the great things about this channel is like now I feel like pretty much almost any country I would want to go, I can just like reach out through YouTube and be like, hey, I'm coming to visit this country. Anyone who wants to meet up, and could probably find someone who would be willing to kind of like to guide me around or something.
Oh yeah, the pimp daddy of Gundam YouTube, sir.
Yeah, I guess you could say it like that. That wasn't the image that I had in mind. But
just show up in the fur coat and go, "What's up? I'm Zach."
More of just a network of
I'm kidding.
Of people who I think would be willing to help in that situation if I ever wanted to travel to wherever. But
the community is like that. You know, like I really really love this community. Love Gundam. It's not like other community. You know what I mean? Like when you have an idea for something, but you're not exactly sure how to do that idea. You know, you just put them up. Like, look, this is my idea, right? Can anyone help me, or does anyone have an idea of how to do this? Right, and you'll get an answer. And same with this, you know, like if you're going to go to another country to, you know, either sightsee or like just buy Gundam, they're like, dude, I'll show you around, kind of thing, right? Tai Ho Ma, right? He was the Hong Kong champion of 2014, right? I met him like in 2014. He just came to Bangkok like 2-3 days ago, right? And he was like, "Hey, Win, you want to hang out?" I was like, "Rock and roll." So we went around Bangkok and like, you know, I showed him around all that, right?
Nice.
It's a good community, you know what I mean? And I meet like you and Tim and Simon, and at events like GBWC, I met Kevin, who I'm friends with that dude for life, right? And he's still trying to get me to use an airbrush, but like it hates me, so I'm kind of scared. But I did get him to use a brush, so yeah.
So it worked one way.
Yeah, I am teetering on trying it again. You know, I'm just sort of like working my courage up at the moment, but like, you know, give it time, I'll get there.
I mean, on the one hand, it's cool that you have like your own style. I mean, like hand brushing is not your own style; it's a very common style. But
I'm claiming it.
But I mean, everything that you've accomplished, and everything that you can do with that. But like, so it's kind of like you just don't really need an airbrush. So I understand why you think like what's the point? But I guess at the same time, it would open up even more possibilities. So it's like, why not just adding one more possible tool that you can use to do even more? So like,
oh yeah, definitely. See, the way I see things is, a lot of people see it like, all right, you know, when you start with the spray can, and then you move on to the brush, and then you move on to the airbrush as, you know, like a step, like increasing step or skill levels and all that, right? But the way I see it, all those three aren't like steps per se, but they're just tools that you can use in your tool belt.
Yeah.
You know, that is just it. Saying that, like I said, I have no idea how to use an airbrush. I don't own one. I tried one ages ago.
Yeah.
It didn't work out for me. It hated me. I tried it again like a month ago, and I swore it hissed at me. It said, "Fuck off." Right? And I'm like, all right, fair enough. Right, I'll leave him alone. So I went back to the humble brush. But anyway, excuse me. I figured like, all right, I don't know how to use the airbrush. I want to do a certain effect that an airbrush can, like the shading or like the blending and all that. Because you're limited, you get more creative with what you have.
Oh yeah, of course.
So you kind of compensate in different ways. So basically, you achieve the same goal, but it's just two different skill set to get to that one goal. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's a really good point. That sometimes putting some limits on what you can do will force you to be more creative. Of course. So all right.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. I want to take a step back, more kind of start at the beginning, because again, just for those people who are not as familiar with you, I know you do have a lot of stuff there on Facebook, but just I think the general public maybe not that familiar with you. Just like when was it that you kind of got into doing Gunpla, and what got you started into Gunpla?
Right. Basically, modeling in general, right? I actually started when I was 13, but not with Gundam. I do a board game thing. I play a board game, not a board game, a tabletop gaming thing called Warhammer. Warhammer Fantasy, basically. Like, I'm big into like fantasy, dragons, myth, warlock, magic. Oh, awesome, right? But yeah, I play that, and I play Malifaux. I play like just tabletop gaming. Basically, you collect a group of models, and you put it on a table with terrains like buildings, houses, trees, the whole 9 yards, and then you play with them, right? You fight each other, basically. Another guy has another group, and you play you use dice to fight them, and you have a rule set and all that, right? Yeah. So I did that ever since I was 13, and that's just sort of like my scene, my modeling scene kind of thing. I know of Gundam. I mean, I watch cartoons. I know there are Gundam chits, and there's like a huge Gundam community here in Thailand, right? Literally every single store in Thailand, hundreds of them, and they have like their own little group, their own little clique kind of thing that they hang out with and all that. But like I said, it's there, but I wasn't really into that, right?
Yeah.
Until 2013, October to be exact.
Okay.
Right? The only reason I remember that is because Gundam Built Fighter came out.
Okay.
Right? And in Gundam Built Fighter, modelers with their plastic models, right? They do them up. They put it on a magical table that brings it to life, and they fight each other. So I'm like, oh my god, I am sold. I am hooked. Bandai, are you telling me that if I buy your model, I do them up real nice and everything, one day you will invent a table that can make these things come to life? So basically they got me. So I started doing it, and I never looked back since.
Well, you barely looked forward before you were winning the GBWC and all that. So you started.
I didn't like have the intention of winning per se. I'm just sort of like, I do what I do the best of my abilities.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. Because like, all right, the thing with the way I see Gundam is, you bought it, it's yours. You do whatever the hell you want with it. You don't have to like paint a Sananju red. You can paint it pink and add like HG Freedom leg on his head, so it looks like a goat kind of thing, right? If you want, if you like it, if you enjoy it, it doesn't have to make sense at all. You can put an EFSF, the space thing, right? The Federation decal on it. If you like it, it looks good for you. Go for it. It's going on your shelf. Just do it to the best of your ability. So that's basically what I'm trying to do, right? I put it on my shelf, right? If it doesn't look good to me, I'm not going to put it on my shelf, or it'll bug the hell out of me. So I just do it to the best of my ability because it's going in my house. Otherwise, if there's something wrong with it, I have to fix it, or I have to do it better. before I put it up, otherwise it'll bug me. Yes, that's just
So-
me. Oh, and the other reason you were mentioning this with the steampunk thing, right? My room is steampunk, and my girlfriend's room is really colorful, like a rainbow threw up on it kind of thing, right? And she only allows me to put Gundams up or models up in my room.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's why most of my Gunpla stuff is rusty.
Okay.
Because if it's shiny new, it wouldn't go with the room.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? That's basically it.
If it's so it just has to match your room. Basically, is
Yeah. I do have. I do have one. Excuse me. You see that?
Yeah.
Right. The camper.
Yeah.
Pretty much my favorite mobile suit. Right. That's the only one I kind of did new. Like there is no rust on this thing at all.
How dare you?
Yeah, but that's basically it. Because the design is all sorts of badass.
Yeah. I agree.
So yeah, that's the only model I have that's not rusty, right? And he's kind of in the corner behind all the other rusty stuff.
So basically, as soon as you started, you knew what GBWC was, and so within a year, you won for Thailand.
Yes.
So what was the first kit you got?
My actually very first Gundam kit was Jiro Zulu on a horse, which became part of my 2014 entry.
Yeah. Got it there.
Right, but the very first one is this guy, number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so that became like part of the whole unit kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was my first thing into doing modeling. Well, doing gunplay anyway. Right, but thing is, people got to keep in mind one thing. Everything you see me do on Facebook, the pictures I put up, that thing. I say that's my first thing. I mean, my first Gundam. Yes, it is my first Gundam, but it's not my first model.
Yeah.
Right, and everything you see on Facebook, right? That's only like, I don't know, 2% at most of what I actually do. Right, the 98% of the other stuff are all failures. Right, experiment gone wrong and things that will never ever see the light of day. But you learn from them and you get better, and you're like, yeah, rock and roll. I'll put that up on the internet.
Yeah.
Right, but you learn what to do and what not to do with all the failures. So, like, didn't like exactly like jump into it and got everything that I wanted right away. That's just like 2% of everything that I do.
Yeah, sure, but even still, that's in a short amount of time. That's a lot of it's very inspiring progress there.
I fail very quickly.
Do you ever worry that like in the future, as long as you keep entering, like next year or something, that Kawaguchi and like the other judges will just be like, do we really give it to the same guy again? Like, we can't keep giving it to the same guy every year.
All right. Well, about next year, right? I'm not too sure if I can enter next year because I'll be away on business around October-ish, November-ish time, like away from Thailand anyway. So I might not be able to enter next year. But Kawaguchi and the judges, they're really good about this. They kind of take it as is without the name.
Yeah.
Behind it. They just see it for what it's worth. Like they don't care about like work in progress, how long it took you to actually complete that one piece, or how much you actually put into it.
Yeah.
Right. The way they see it is like, all right, do a Gundam piece, right? And you come up with your own brief, your own story or your own like kind of concept or whatever kind of thing. And I believe the way they judge you is, when you look at a model, you can kind of tell what they were going for, right? Same with them, right? You can kind of see what they were going for, and they judge it by whether they achieved that thing they were going for or not. So basically, you're trying to tell a story, right? They see it, they're like, all right, okay, he's trying to tell a story. How much of the story did he tell? How well did he achieve that goal of telling that story through models? I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know that they have their like set criteria and stuff, and so there is obviously like a technical skill, like painting. I know is one of the big judging criteria, but yeah, basically what you're saying is that from your understanding, is that there is a large emphasis. That would be the like creative portion of the. If I remember correctly from the site, I think like it says that they judge on like the 3 main criteria. It's like painting, like creativity, and then there's
craftsmanship. I think.
Third one, what is it?
Craftsmanship.
Craftsmanship, yeah, maybe that.
I think those are 3. But yeah. The thing is, the way I see it, like all 3 of them kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, sure.
I guess.
Well, it sounds. I mean, if they didn't judge it that way, I mean, it sounds like. I mean, the way that they judge it sounds like the best way to basically just take whatever they have there, so they don't have any context of what came before that, who made it, or how long it took, or how little time it took, or whatever. All that stuff shouldn't matter as long as. Like they just have just what they have there to see, and that's what they're judging. So I mean, if they didn't do it like that, I think it would be kind of strange.
yeah. Like, oh, dude, this dude put so much time, and look, he had like 20 odd stuff. He put a lot of money in Bandai, so we gotta give him. That would just be weird.
If they were going based on time put into the kit, then then Tim would already be able to know he's got it in the bag.
Holy hell! I mean, like his piece, his hummingbird is amazing. Like it really, really is. I got a little confession, a little story, right? The thing is, all right, I watched Gundam, right? A little confession. I do watch some Gundam, but I don't like watch all of it.
Yeah.
So I don't actually know a lot of Mobile Suit. I just like when I buy Mobile Suit, right? I don't actually read the name of it, or I don't actually know where that came from. I just like. I love the part. I love the head. I want the head of that guy. I want the arm of that guy. I have no idea where it comes from, but I'm gonna put it together and see what happens. Anyway.
Yeah.
I saw a guy. I think it was like a Japanese guy. He put a hummingbird up, right? It's kind of the same design as Tim's.
Yeah.
And he called it the hummingbird. Now, before that, I thought Tim came up with the name hummingbird and that design. You know what I mean? So I'm like. Tim, dude, on Facebook, he's like, dude, check this out, right? And he's like, oh yeah, I thought I was doing that for 2 years. I was like, ain't you angry? No, right. Like,
this dude's ripping you off.
Yeah, but he was like, no, Win, you idiot. Well, he didn't say you idiot, but I'm pretty sure he's thinking it, which is true. I don't mind, right? But he was like, dude, it's a thing. I'm like, oh, right.
Yeah,
okay,
well,
cool. My bad.
I mean, that also, I think, in your case, that probably, I mean, for your particular style, that probably helps you as well, because you're not worried about so much about canon and stuff. And I mean, like, there is people who that is part of their style, and like who they try to make stuff like according to canon and things like that, and like they move mobile suits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it.
I don't think that's actually a style per se. You know what I mean? It's an appreciation for the storyline and the universe, basically. It's more. See, that's a great thing about this hobby. You can actually just be into the lore, which is the Gundam series, the novel, the manga, and all that stuff. You can collect it, so you have it's sort of like a collectible figure that you've done yourself.
Yeah. That
you appreciate. It's like another path that you can go down.
Yeah.
I think you might add more detail and I like it like that and all that. Your own little tilt to it, kind of thing, right? Which is the normal collector. It's like, all right, this universe would be from this universe. This it has to look like this, correct color, that stuff. And then there is the like me, basically just go like shit and like just I have no idea what that comes from, but I like that part. So I was just going in, kid bashing it together, kind of thing. But yeah, there's no right and wrong of doing anything. I mean, as long as you're happy with it, it is going in your room, So like, as long as you're happy with it, just appreciate the hobby and the lore. This is awesome.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, but just what I mean is that I think that's great for you. Not that like you. It's not saying like I don't know how to put it anyway. I'm not saying like it's like it's good that you don't have that appreciation for the lore. That's not what I mean. I mean it's good.
You mean like I don't let it limit me?
Yeah, or just that you just don't think about that at all. Like you just go for what looks good to you and what you want to make, and you just don't think about that at all. So I think that's good. It works for you. And, I mean, I don't know if that's not something I would say, maybe like recommend to everyone. But I guess so. I mean, I would say, yeah, just.
I think it depends on them, really.
Yeah,
I mean, if they want it, because apparently, Gundam, they don't rust. Like according to the story, their metal alloy thing, they don't actually rust.
Yeah, right.
And that goes against my religion.
They also just don't. They also just don't actually exist in real life. So.
La 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 la.
It's probably okay to just do whatever you want, Russ, if you want. So.
But Gundam is a documentary, so don't listen to it. It is.
That'd be cool to do some kind of Gundam themed, like full-on like documentaries about something. I think. Actually, I did a lot of focus when I was in school. I studied filmmaking, and a lot of my focus in like second and third year was a lot of focus on documentary making. So,
rock and roll.
Actually, kind of miss making documentaries. Would love to get into that again. Anyway,
I should go for it.
That is another story. Anyway, so you mentioned that like your girlfriend is at least accepting of the hobby. How about like the rest of your family? I guess you haven't been doing it for really all that long, but like, is your family? I mean, you were doing Warhammer before that, so I guess they're kind of just used to it. It's not really.
Yeah, anything. Kind of. Thing is, like I said, I have a job. I have a well-paying job. I'm paying my rent. Like making my own way kind of thing, and they kind of know that it's just a hobby.
Yeah.
So they're like, dude, just do whatever the hell you want. I don't mind or anything. But occasionally they, they come over and they have dinner and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And the thing that gets to me most is, all right, your parents come over, right? And you're like, oh, you still playing with toys, right? But my mom don't even say that,
Yeah.
She says, oh, so you won the doll competition? Dolls. Dolls, not toys, not models, nothing like that. Dolls.
Yeah.
So which kills me a little bit inside, but like I love her, so I can't really say anything. And I think that was one of my main motivations for making another late night last year's entry. Right. Like I wanted to tell a story of us modelers. Right. Yeah. Usually we come back from work, we work late into the night on our craft, which is modeling. Yeah. And Gunpla is basically our canvas. So we carry on doing that late into the night. Then when we realize, we're like, oh crap, I got to go work in 2 hours. Yeah. Thing, right. So another late night. We labor at our work. Right. And I want to kind of convey that to my mom. In a certain way, because like when she looks at my model, like my 2014 kit, entry, she's like, "Oh, dirty, rusty horses, awesome."
Yeah.
Still dull, right? I was like, "Mom, no, it's more than that. You got to paint. You got, So I made it into wood, so she can understand. She can connect to it more because like carpentry and real world kind of connection kind of thing. So another late night is basically me trying to tell a story of us modeling, as
Yeah.
well as tell my mom that it's not dolls, mom, it's art. Come on, you know. And
Yeah.
she knows, she kind of knows it now, but I think intentionally she wants to piss me off and call him doll, always. You know what I mean? Because she says dolls and she waits for that face, my face, that kind of thing.
Oh, you should just play along with it. Be like, oh yeah, yeah. These dolls are taking me to Japan again. Dang dolls.
I love these dolls.
So what was the, I guess, with your piece this year? I think the story in it, I think, is kind of self-explanatory. But so like the original motivation for it was just you saw a banana and you're just like, no.
Left real banana, right? Little
You
thing. If y'all haven't seen like my entry for this year, it's called Love Lost, right? Originally, the idea came from, all right, basically, right? I was playing a game called Gundam Destiny. No, not Gundam Destiny. Gundam Destiny Warriors. You know, the one where you're a Gundam and you go beat up like 500 Zaku's. Like
Dynasty Warriors.
Dynasty Warriors, that's the one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dynasty Warriors, that's the one, right?
Yeah.
So I was playing that, but I had it on mute. Like, I had a long day at work. Came back, I want some like abnegation, basically, and put it on mute. Turn on my music, and I was just playing that kind of thing. I wasn't really thinking anything much. And then the song "Billy Don't Be a Hero" came on. Right, by Paper Lace. I'm not gonna sing it, right, because it's a crime for me to sing. Right, I'm just bad at it. Right, but that came on, and and basically, YouTube it. It's an awesome song. Listen to it, people.
Okay.
Right. But yeah, that kind of moment kind of clicked, of like a wife receiving a letter from the army saying that her husband died instead of like the return of her husband. Right, and so I wanted to convey that story in a single picture diorama, and so I started drawing that one sheet. Like, usually with the way I work, most of the time I don't even draw, like, or plan out what I'm going to do. I kind of have an idea and I kind of make it up as I go along, just because it's sort of more enjoyable for me. Because, like, let's say I sketch out everything, it needs to go exactly like from point A to point B, point C to point D. It's a little bit more stressful if something goes wrong. So I tend to like, all right, it's around there, and if I make a mistake, right, I'll like, yeah, that'll be fine, that'll work, and I kind of like sometimes leave the mistake in because it kind of looks cool, happy accident. Yeah. But yeah, so basically I kind of have an idea, and I kind of like make it up as I go along until I got there. Now, if y'all see the picture, right, like, I think it was 2 months, 3 months into the build, right? I had it on my table, and when you're just looking at your Gundam, when you finish, or not finished, but you've been doing it for a while. Yeah. You sit there, you're about to start, and you just stare at it, doing nothing, not even thinking about it. You're just like staring at it, kind of thing. And I realized the silhouette of it looks like a banana on a base. Yeah. Right? I mean, with the stem on top and everything. So I was like, oh my God. And for a month or two, right, that was all I could see. Just a banana, right, on a base. So that killed me a bit.
But ultimately, you decided not to paint it yellow, I see.
Yeah, luckily I didn't. Just a top bit, just a little like flare bit at the top.
I mean, one thing that I think from your 2014, 2015 to 2016 entries, one thing that has had a clear progression is the dynamic. How can I say that as an adjective? The dynamic.
The movement.
Anyway, it's more and more dynamic each year.
Oh right, yeah.
The scene that you're showing, like, I guess Another Late Night is like the scene is not dynamic because it's just like the scene is more, I think, about the people in there, not the actual robots, right? because the robots are not robots. It's just a statue.
Yeah,
that's been made.
But the statue itself is sort of like going down, kind of thing.
Yeah. But
so, another confession about another late night.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Wing Gundam. All right, I've never watched the series, so I apologize. And but I actually did not know that Wing and Eppian fought like that.
Oh, really?
I did not know that.
It just happened like that?
No, I actually got that post from Gandalf and Balrog when they were fighting, and they fell down the pit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and with the whip, the fire whip and all that. So I didn't actually know that actually happened.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, looking at that piece, I didn't really connect it to Gundam Wing at all. I didn't think like, oh, it's like a scene from Gundam Wing, like the Wing and Eppion. So I never made that connection. So I don't know if other people did, but
yeah, because the thing with me is, all right, I use Gundam Wing version KA for the main body of the top dude, but the arms are X here, and the head came from Sentinel. I think Advanced Zeta, right? The Sentinel dude.
The head, yeah.
Yeah. The Eppion, the wing and the main body came from Eppion, and the head. But the shoulders are Dark Exia, and the leg are Dark Exia as well, right? Because what I imagine that piece is that it actually takes place in Gundam built fighters. Like maybe an artist or an alternate timeline. Within that Gundam built fighter universe, it might happen, kind of thing. And I figured, it should be a custom if it's in that universe because everything in there is custom.
Yeah.
And you will get little like hints, or here I'll show you actually. Before I had to fix this before I give it to mom because my mom confiscated this. By the way, I'm not gonna have it in my home. But yeah, if you look at the little detail, right? If I get that right, that's Mao's hat on the table.
The what?
Mao's hat. Yeah, that character Mao.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Right. Oh no, wrong way. No, that way. I don't know if you see it.
It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, I get what you mean.
That the Harrow mosquito repellent. Right, I saw that in one of the scenes on there. So there's little hints like that. And by the way, that's the logo of the built fighter on the.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that hint is in there, and this, by the way, on the main piece, the name of it, Worthy Rivals. That's actually, I think, episode 19 of season 2.
Okay.
Right, so like there's a little hint that this whole thing took place in the universe kind of thing.
Interesting.
So yeah.
So I mean that as well. So like the Wing reference I wouldn't have got, and then even the Build Fighters thing as well. I mean, just the fact that they're like custom like kit bashes, I guess, is kind of it's a Build Fighters thing, but still I wouldn't have made any connection to Build Fighters if you haven't mentioned that.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where I want to see. We take it for granted. We know that Gundams are huge, gigantic mobile suits that people get in and pilot, and they fight in a war and all that. We take the thing for granted, but I just want to like kind of make a piece or make a diorama that I can show someone who knows nothing of Gundam, and they're like, oh, rock and roll, yeah, it's huge, big, and stuff like that. That's why a lot of times when I do Gundam on a base or a Gundam in a diorama, I try to include like little real world reference, like a car or a body or something. So they're like, I know the size of the car, so I know like how big it is in respect to that car.
Yeah.
So we actually get as much, basically try and convey as much information to those people as possible. Yeah, about what we like, basically. Yeah.
So again, it seems like kind of the constant theme for you seems to be just kind of thinking outside of the box, or just not considering the existence of a box.
Well, you do take the Gundam out of the box, so you know I got to go start on that one.
Yeah, okay. All right. And I'm sure you do have quite a box of stuff, leftover stuff. You were calling it when we talked before, your junkyard.
Yes, I do have my junkyard. The room looks clean right now, but yeah, it's not really. I kind of like pushed everything aside, you know, so it's off camera a bit. I'll tell you what. I give you a little preview. Keep the view.
My room is incredibly messy at the moment as well.
Right. If you can see that.
Yeah.
All that's all Gundam bits in there. Basically, that's all bits I have left over from like previous builds and whatnot.
Looks like some very controlled chaos in there, I'd say.
Yes, there it is. And I'm doing my best to keep it at bay, but occasionally it fights back.
Yeah. Just getting back to your entry this year, just another thing that I really love about that is the faux LEDs, faux LED light that you just painted.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That is,
I
think one of my favorite parts about that is the lights.
Yeah.
It's great because like when you have LEDs in the kit, like later once like the competition's done and you've just got it at home, and you're probably never going to be bothered like switching on the LEDs like every now and then, but your kit is always on, so that's good.
I got a little confession about that as well.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. This is what I'm saying about like when you don't know how to do something, you get creative with what you do know and what you have.
Yeah.
I wanted LEDs.
Okay.
But I have no idea how to do electrical stuff and LEDs.
Well, yeah.
Like no idea. So I figured, you know what, I'll just paint them in. Yeah.
It works out. Yeah, I think personally, I think it looks better as it is, and if you would have put LEDs in it, to be honest.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
So, yeah, I think it looks really good. Because when I first saw it, like I guess like probably at first glance it looks like LEDs, but then like once you look at it, it is pretty clear. I mean, when you look at the close-up photos, that it is just painted. It's not LEDs, but like I don't know. It's totally convincing that it is light. I mean, you can see it's painted, but it's still totally convincing. So.
Thank you. I did my best with that.
And I like the mix of like the kits. It's like every angle and every place you can look at that kit, there's something going on, like with the Zaku's mixed with like the GMs, like going all the way up to the.
Oh yeah, there's actually just 3 GMs at the bottom getting killed, basically murdered by them, and it's sort of like following it up. But I like having little Easter eggs, like you know, like with the another late night one as well. I like having those things for people in the know, and they actually like look really close at the my models kind of thing. And they're like, "Oh, right, I know that," or you know, little Easter eggs you see in film kind of thing. You don't have to look for it, but if you do, you will be rewarded kind of thing. I quite like having that playful kind of game, I guess, with the audience that's actually looking at my stuff. Yeah. Because for the base, right? One of the scenes from Gundam Unicorn, right? I think it's on episode. It was episode 2 of the main. You know, when they have the long series and they haven't cut it up yet.
The OVA.
Yeah, it was in one of the colonies that they took the main dude to as prisoner, kind of thing. And they showed like a scene of the street. Basically, they have like bar signs, they have book signs, and all that, right? So I took that scene and I made like little signs, you know, like from that exact sign. You know, there's like 5, 6 signs on there, right? And like Black Star Comet. No wait, I forgot what the DOMs, the 3 DOMs. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like bars and all that. And basically, I took it and I made like little wreckage on the base. So if people recognize that, they'll see it and they're like, "Yay! I know that thing." No one else does, but like I'm in on the joke kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and sorry, the little newspaper that's on the street. It actually says Xeon War is ongoing as well, but you can't really see it in the picture. But if you look at it, it's there kind of thing.
I'd love to be able to see the whole thing in person. That would be awesome someday. About the base, the like base part where you have the text printed in there.
Yes.
How did you do that?
Right. Basically, it's the same technique I use for this one as well.
Okay.
Right. What I do is I did it. I did the picture on computer, right? The letter kind of thing. Like, we are sorry to report to you that your husband, blah blah blah, lieutenant, whatever. I mean, all the lettering things, right? And then I took it down to the print shop, right? The place where they do like photocopying, they do book binding, they laminate stuff and all that, right? But I took that file from the computer down there, and I had it made into a stamp, a rubber stamp. Like when you stamp your.
This is like a huge stamp.
Yeah. Basically, it's just one huge stamp kind of thing, and then I had it cut up. I mean, I cut up myself, and then I made into that letter. You simply put primer on it and paint it, and that's what you have.
Right? I thought,
like,
isn't it opposite?
What?
The letters are engraved.
Oh no, you flip it. You flip it, so when it comes out, you get the rise and fall. Basically, these are, you've probably seen these. These are kind of my profile picture as well. And I did these, the classic Paint Pusher Classic Collections, right?
Yes.
But if you look at the sign here, sorry, glare, light. I have no idea how I am. Can you see that all right? Yeah, but that, basically, that's actually just a rubber stamp and painted to look like, like a real gold, not real gold, but, those like metal plated.
Like a plaque.
Yeah, a plaque. Thank you. Oh yeah, by the way, I think Tim and, basically Clay, he is the admin or the dude who came up with It's a Gundam Facebook page, right? Facebook group rather. I gave him complete rights to these guys. My Paint Pusher art thing. So they'll be making T-shirts. So they'll be making like a little wall fridge magnet that you put on the fridge, and they'll be doing mugs. And I think just go check them out on It's a Gundam or Child Mecha. I think Tim is in on it as well. I'm not too sure, but yeah, they do the business stuff, right? I just do this, and yeah, I just have fun with it. I try to, separate business and hobby. But yeah, check them out. Give them some love. It's a Gundam. All good.
Yeah, I think their stuff is sold through Tim's store. I think, as far as I know, at the moment, I think Tim's store is temporarily under maintenance. I think I'm not sure if he's reopened it yet or not. But I think he's maybe in the process of reworking his shop, so I think it may not be open at the moment, but it will be. We usually plug that every month on Gunflow Talk.
Oh, rock and roll. Yeah, sorry, my bad. But yeah,
no, it's okay. I'm just saying,
like that. Go on there.
If it's not up now, anyone watching, you will know when it's up because I'm sure we'll mention it in the future. So if you can't go there now, we'll let you know.
Anyway, I'll get to the stamps. Right. Basically, I use those stamps for everything. They occasionally, what I'll do is I'll have like a really weird or fancy or really intricate design done on the computer, and I will make it into a stamp, right? And then I'll just glue it down onto a part of Gundam, and then I'll paint it, right? So it looks like it's engraved in there. Instead of block plating, I just do that. It's easier.
So again, that's just another thing. Like,
yeah, I have no idea how to describe either.
Yeah, people would say like, "Oh, I want to," like if they had that idea. I think asking in the community like, "Oh, I have this idea. I want to do this." I guess the general response would probably be, "Oh, just do it with plot plate," something like that.
Yeah.
The way to go, but the fact that you just have kind of out of necessity or however you might want to phrase that, you've gone a different route.
Basically, my own idiocy.
Yeah, I'll let you phrase that however you want, but anyway, the point is that you've made your own way out of that, so that's pretty cool. So what are your expectations for GBWC this year? Like, have you seen some of the other entries? Just for a moment to talk about Gunpla Talk again. 2 days later, if you're in America, it's tomorrow. For me here, it's on Sunday. But this weekend's episode of Gunpla Talk, we're going to be talking about all of the entries and our thoughts about that. But what do you think? I guess are your chances? I guess you're probably not too concerned about that, but
no, I'm not expecting anything. If you know what I mean. Not expecting anything, but I am quietly, silently hoping, behind the couch in a dark corner, right? Just silently hoping. But like I said, I'm not expecting anything. I'm just happy people like my work, right? The judges like my work. I was like, going, ha! Who knew someone would like a banana?
right.
But yeah, but there are really, really good work out this year. Like Tim, for one, right? The dude who did that dragon thing in Taiwan. Holy hell! I mean, I saw like little work in progress from that, the Gundam thing, the dragon thing, right? And the pictures don't do it justice at all.
Yeah.
There are like so many little intricate detail within the dragon panel. Like you see it just green, but it's actually like, I don't know, like layers of green, and it's just amazing. It really, really is amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be really tough on those judges, I think, this year.
Yeah, definitely.
But I imagine it would be pretty cool to win 2 years in a row, to be the first person to do that. So,
yeah, that would be cool. But like I said, I'm not expecting anything, right?
Yeah.
I really am not. But
I think
in the corner.
Yeah, Josh said it best. I think when I think it was maybe on like the first time he was on Gunpla Talk was because we were talking to him about his entry and going to Japan and stuff. And I think it was at that time he said that like for him, like just winning the trip to Japan, that was like already winning. Like then after that, you don't really care. So yeah,
like all these new people kind of thing. And you're hanging out in, like a foreign country. The thing is, when you go there, you all love the hobby.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have that instant connection right there. So you don't have to go, hi, I'm Win, and I like Gundams. Right?
Yeah.
Do you like Gundams? Like, yeah, I like it. You don't have any of that. You're like, hey, drinks, rock, let's go. It was all good.
What was like the best thing about winning last year? What was
everything basically. I mean, like, it was very unexpected. I actually didn't realize I won until basically I got on the bus and there was like 300 Facebook messages or notifications, right? And it just flooded with that. I was like going, oh shit, yeah, I did win, didn't I? This crap is real. This shit is real. It's awesome, right? I got really excited after that. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think the best thing about the whole event is the new people that you meet, right? And you open up the opportunity to meet even more people. I think, right? That's my favorite part of the whole event. Right? It's not about winning anything. It's just meeting new people, meeting more people, like-minded people. I mean, like, essentially, all right. Don't want to give my mom any credit or anything, right? But we are essentially grown men playing with toy robots.
Yeah.
Right? We cannot be taking life that seriously, and those are the people who I want to hang with for the rest of my life. Right? Awesome people.
Yeah, like as much as I feel like, yeah, I mean, that, like you were saying before about how the hobby can be different things to different people. So I think it can be, you know, for most children who are into it, it can be something very childish, or for most adults who are into it, it probably can be something much more serious. But yeah, when you're posing the kit in something, sometimes I'll just think like, I'm just like posing this toy to look like he's shooting a gun, pew pew, like that's so childish. Like,
you do what I do, don't you? You know, when you like putting it together and you're like moving around, checking it work, you make random little mechanical noises, don't you? I do anyway. I'm like, yeah. Okay, I'm the only one. Don't worry.
Yeah, not that far, but
occasionally I'll take my Leon around the room and go.
Yeah, maybe not quite that much, but anyway, yeah, I still.
He's lying. He's lying. We all do it.
I will admit that there's been that sensation when driving a car. You're
yeah, right?
Doing like the Gundam thing, but anyway. No, so yeah. Anyway, so you're off to Japan. So you're off to Japan soon.
Yeah.
Anything you're hoping to buy this time? We talked about you're not supposed to buy much, but
I don't want
anything on your wish list. You're really
okay. All right. A lot of Gundam Front Tokyo limited stuff from Gundam Front Tokyo. I'm thinking.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Not for any particular reason in general. You know, like in March. Well, after March, you know, nothing gonna happen, you know, in March to Gundam Front Tokyo, so a certain box or kits won't be available any longer, ever. No, I mean, yeah, none of that. And there's no way you can do anything with eBay or anything like that with those limited boxes that won't be available any longer. Never, you know, at all.
Yes.
Would I do that? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
not going to stock up on those at all.
You don't have to continue talking. I know exactly what you're talking about, but you don't have to continue.
Just planting little seeds. Just planting little seeds.
Right. All right. Anyway, if you want to give us some time there's a lot of things we could go on talking about. Maybe we'll have to have a part 2 interview sometime later. I do want to give us some time though for people in the chat, people who are watching live, to ask any questions for you. So those of you who are watching, if you have any questions, something you want to ask Win, go ahead now and get to your questions, and I'll try to read them on here. Win, one question I did also have for you in the meantime, while people are asking whatever questions they want, is there in Thailand, you mentioned about there being quite a big scene, but in terms of people buying stuff, people do, I know you told me that you usually visit a local shop, but do people in general usually visit shops or usually buying online, or is there a lot of support for like local shops and stuff, or what's that like?
Yes, there is. Most of the time they won't buy it online. If they do buy it online, it's from a local shop online. You know what I mean? Because like they can't be bothered actually going to the shop. But usually we go to a shop. One thing I do not recommend at all if you come to Thailand, department stores.
Okay.
The toy section of the department stores, right? They will sell Gundam. Do not buy from there, please. They will mark it up at least 300%. So don't do that, right? But if you go to subway station, sometimes the subway station they'll have malls, right? And there will be Gundam shops in there. Those are more reasonable price. They're pretty much like, I don't know. I think like maybe 10% more than in Japan. Maybe, you know, the price. So that ain't bad at all. I mean, like, you know, given the shipment and all that stuff, right? But
yeah,
there are Gundam shops dotted all over the place, you know, outside of department stores kind of thing. And each one of them, they will have their own like little community, you know, like table people, you know, just sitting around cutting it up and painting it and all that. I think like 4 or 5 shops, they'll actually have airbrush for you to use. So you can buy your kits, put them together and actually airbrush them within the shop, kind of thing. That's why, like, that's how, like, the group form and they get together. Like, hey, you free Sunday, Saturday? You want to go chill out at that shop? And they do, and that's what kind of happened. I tend to buy stuff from my local shop, like most of the time, even when I go to Japan, right? I don't actually buy any Gundam kit from there. I actually wait to come back, although I pay more, but in the long run, it supports the shop, and I can, like, just go down 5 minutes walk, and then I grab my Gundam. I'd rather it be there instead of me having to wait like a week before I get my kit so I can tear it up, kind of thing. So yeah, I tend to buy most of the kit here. The stuff I do buy in Japan is like really hard to find stuff, like those like kotobuya, I forgot the name of it. Those little parts, like accessory part, like the vents and
kotobukiya, like
yeah, that's the one. Yeah, yeah, the little parts or the decals. Yeah, like little things like that you can't actually get in Thailand. Yeah, I'll stock up on those, and I have a shed full of those, actually, literally. Yeah. But Gundam kits themselves, I actually try my best to buy in Thailand. I do, yeah.
It's amazing, like in Japan, when you're buying some of that stuff, like decals and this option parts and stuff. It's just like all this little stuff, but you buy so much of it, and it adds up really fast.
Yes, they do. Wow. Occasionally, I will feel bad because, like, when I'm Yellow Submarine, how they have them in, like, the shelf and everything, and they're on like 10 packet kind of thing on like a little like metal rod thing coming out, it's hanging up.
Yeah.
You get like Japanese dudes like looking to buy stuff to improve this kit, right? And then there's me just like taking a whole chunk and just chucking it in a basket, like one section at a time, just like, yeah, I'll take all that. He's like, one. I'm like, no, all mine. And then I disappear in the dark mist.
Don't feel too bad. He can just go just next door to the next shop. They're probably all the same stuff.
Yeah, and then the shopkeeper will be, some Thai dude just took all of it.
Some weird guy. Yeah. What's the name of your local shop? You want to plug that?
Mew Toys, right? But yeah, just buy them locally wherever you are. Really, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Right.
Anyway, so one question here someone had. Troy asked, "What was your favorite suit to use in Dynasty Warriors Gundam?" As someone who also played that game quite a lot in the past, I'm also interested to know that.
I do like the Destiny.
Okay.
I don't know. It is hard to control, ain't it? With sort of all that. But I don't know. It's just sort of like the wind up and the hit, and like I don't know, like 10 Zaku's going off. It's just sort of like that satisfaction. Of that waiting. You got to like run around for a bit, wait, and then like, wah! It's I think
that was satisfying.
Yeah, I think it's probably Destiny, just for that. Yeah. How about you?
One of them I most often use was probably the Master Gundam.
Oh yeah. He's cool, actually.
It's really fun to use.
Yeah.
And what else? Now suddenly I don't remember, but there was another one that I used quite a lot.
The Exia is pretty good, actually.
What's that?
The Exia?
I didn't.
I think it's in the third one or fourth game. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Right. That's really gonna bother me now. I'm trying to think of which one that was. I played it a lot, but it was a few years ago. I haven't played it at all for a few years. But anyway, I know one of them anyway was the Master Gundam I used quite often. Anyway, really fun game. I really enjoyed those games quite a bit.
It's sort of like when you kind of want to do something Gundam-y, but you don't want to like abnegation. Basically, it's button pressing. Right?
Yeah,
you can actually play with one hand, just go
just zoning out, kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
Nick asks, what are your tips for beginners?
Fail fast. No, seriously, fail fast. Right. Okay. Now, that's actually the best advice I can give anyone of any level. Essentially, Gundam, they're plastic, right? What else is plastic? I mean, like, uh, that is plastic.
Yeah.
Essentially, the reason why you fail fast, you learn a lot faster when you fail. You learn what to do and you learn what not to do.
Yeah.
I know Gundams are expensive in some part of the world, and they don't want to like fail on a Gundam because it's cool. You want to have that on your shelf. You bought it for that reason. So basically, I suggest going to dollar store, Poundland, Daiso, if you're in like in the Asian region, right? Like really cheap toys, like those toy plastic cars and all that, right? Buy a bunch of those, right? You primer it up. You use airbrush or you use Technique. You see techniques off YouTube all the time, right? So you just experiment with that. You don't have to get it perfect, right? As long as you're comfortable doing it again and again, right? You're good. After you're comfortable, you do it on the real kit. And then once you finish that kit, you move on to the next one. And then, like, as long as you get better with every kit, you're fine, right? So if you're on Rust on, or try Rust on, like, something you don't care about, like, the toy car or whatever. The most that will happen is you throw it away. Right?
Yeah.
And the other thing you learn is how to strip paint off plastics.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty useful thing to have anyway, right? So skills by failing faster, right? Like I said before, 2% of, everything you see on the internet, of me on the internet, that's just 2% of what I do. The rest are failures, right? And the same goes for all those people who do YouTube videos and magazines, like how to paint this, how to do this, how to do that, right? What you see from them, that's actually like probably 2% of them. What they don't show is the thousands of times they failed at trying to achieve that skill, right? No one is born with these skills. Or, like, no one is born with knowledge knowing how to exactly paint a Gundam the way they do it in the magazines and all that. Like, no one's born with that. It's just a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
So fail fast.
And yeah, that is, I think, very good advice too, because I think we've talked about this on Gunpla Talk as well. But one thing that Build Fighters has done, I guess, to sort of Gunpla community is made it look very easy to do that. Yeah. And I think, like, so I think people could see someone like you who basically got into it, like, because of Build Fighters, and basically, I think, like, looking at your work, and, like, it's sort of like that kind of thing, making it look easy, but you're saying, like, no, there's a lot of just trying and just failing. All this stuff is just a process of just experimenting your way along. You can't just, like, you see something, like you're saying, you see something in a magazine, you're seeing some technique, and you're saying, like, oh, I want to try that. You're not going to be able to do that on your first try.
Yeah, they made it look easy because they failed a lot before they made it look easy.
So that's, good advice for beginners. Just don't expect to be able to do everything you want to do on your first try. Just expect to fail plenty.
Yeah. But like I said, before you do it on a kit, just get comfortable with a cheap toy that you don't really care about first. Like, same with me and airbrush, right? I tried a couple times. It hates me, like I said. It really, really does hate me, but I do try. And, it hates me.
Try it out anyway. I mean,
I do. I go to my friend's my friend's shop and I do try it out. And I do feel bad because every so often, well, most of the time I will clog his airbrush.
Yeah.
Do hit me up, right? And he's like, "What the hell do you do to it?" I'm like, "I don't know, just spray it." And he's like, "No, it never gets clogged up like this until you use it." I'm like, "Sorry,
it's too much rust." Just
yeah. I rust everything. Corruption.
One more question that I wanted to ask is where it's cool to know that you are into Warhammer, because you can, I think you can clearly see a lot of the inspiration of Warhammer coming through in kind of the way that you work and also in your works. But do you get any other more, inspiration or anything else in terms of like just overall design or colors or anything like that?
Yeah. Well, mainly I look at tanks. I look at real world kind of object
Mm-hmm.
more than Warhammer, because like with Warhammer it's more or less fantasy,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
as in like dragons and wizard and cloth. There's a lot of cloth. There's a lot of people, kind of thing. There's not a lot of metal per se, except for armor maybe. But yeah, I mean that kind of filters through as well. But mainly I look at tanks and weapons of war, basically. Right. Essentially, one thing. I get asked a lot about scratch building.
Mm.
Right. I use a lot of putty epoxy. I sculpt a lot of stuff, right? But it doesn't matter how you scratch build. You can use block plate, you can use kit bashing, or whatever kind of thing. The most important thing about scratch building is the concept behind that thing you're trying to do. Right now, a Gundam or a mobile suit is actually a military weapon.
Yeah.
And most military weapons, they specialize in one thing or the other thing. Like, for example, the sniper, right? You look at the design, you know it's for long-range firing. Whereas in, like, the pistol or the shotgun, right, you know it's for short range because, like, the design of it is like that. It's not like that machine or that weapon can actually do everything. You know what I mean? So basically, I suggest when you do a Gundam, think of it like that, right? What do you want this piece of machinery to do best? I mean, I'm not saying it can't do anything else. I'm just saying it should do one thing better than anyone else. And then the rest kind of like, you know, it have legs so it can move. You know, stuff like that, right? Sorry, but if you want to be as like here. Bear with me. 5 seconds. Right. This is actually the top of the banana. Well, the Lost Love for my entry this year.
Yeah.
Right. The way I designed it, right, it just looks kind of like a scout.
Yeah.
You know, with the thing and everything, right? I redid the back, I redid the front, the main body bit and all that, right? But my intention for this design is it's like a scout weapon. That's why it's light. You know, the frame is light and there's not a lot of armor on it. So I cut off a lot of armor, like the shoulder.
Yeah.
Bit, right. Yeah. So it's basically just that. It's cutting it down to a bare minimum of what you intend the design to be used for. So that's Scout, and yeah.
What did you use for the cloth on that? That's also epoxy putty?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
epoxy putty.
I do. I buy a lot of green stuff. Oh, occasionally when you go to my Facebook page, the Paint Pusher, you will see a lot of like green stuff, right? Yellow and blue strip. That's basically just putty epoxy.
Yeah.
Right? It's actually called green stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing we definitely should be. I was gonna plug this there at the end, or let you plug it at the end, but just to really drive the message home, those of you who are not following Win's Facebook page, I really recommend you check out his Facebook page. There's a lot of really great stuff there, not only just for seeing more photos of your work that we've been talking about, but you do also make some kind of tutorials and stuff there as well, which are usually really nicely put together.
I do my best. There are a lot of spelling mistakes, so I do apologize. Right? I'm really crap at editing, right? But if you go to the page, you don't have to. By the way, you don't have to do anything. I'm not your mom, so do whatever you want. But if you do feel like going there, all my albums of all the work, right, and the tutorials and everything, it'll be in the album section.
Yeah.
So we go photos and then album and then see all. Just look through it and yeah, they're there, kind of thing. I'll show you how to do. On reach. There's a Kraken. If you see the wiring on there, that's all putty epoxy. Right? It's a very easy way of doing it. The tutorial is on there as well as diorama. Well, go look if you want. Yeah.
Just you don't have to be that nice. Just go look. You can say it. Just yeah. I mean, for even someone like me, I've looked there plenty of times, and I'll still just check it out sometimes whenever you post something new or something. I'll just like look at your new post and then also like look back at some of your old posts, things like that. So there's a lot of cool stuff.
Thanks for the support, my friend.
There's a lot of great information there, and it's worth revisiting now and then just to kind of get some other ideas and stuff too. It's a great source for kind of motivation, inspiration as well. So, have you ever thought about doing like a blog or even YouTube videos or making a book or anything else with that stuff?
Not really.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it's one of those like I do it and put it up there for prosperity, and I am actually an idiot in real life. Yeah. So all my work in progress and all that, just in case, like in the future, I want to go back and do something similar to that. I will forget how I did it, right? So that is kind of like more of a diary for me. Like, dude, this is how you did that. I'm like, oh, I remember, right? Walking over, and then I'll carry on with doing my future stuff. So yeah, it's just there as my reference as well.
Yeah, just keeping your own kind of records there.
Yeah, because I will forget how I do stuff sometimes.
I think it would be cool to see you doing some like video tutorials, though. So I don't know. You should consider it.
Yeah, there is a video on there, but really short video about what being affected. But I don't know. See, the thing is, with this, it is a hobby. Right? It is a hobby of mine, and I try to be as useful to the community as much as possible. And there are hundreds and hundreds of tutorials out there already, video tutorial, and they come from like far better painters and modelers than me, basically. So I say go look at them, try it out on random toy, and then go for your model kind of thing. I'm just I don't know. I just don't, because I'm not a professional in any way at all. I'm just like I don't get paid for it. I just do what I do, like my style kind of thing. You know what I mean? But yeah,
there's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah, done by professionals.
Well, but I think what's cool about the stuff that you share, at least on your Facebook page, is usually a lot of what it is stuff that doesn't really it's like your own style, and like you have your own way of doing things. So it's like stuff that doesn't exist out there in any other way. Like, for example, you're talking about you're making the hoses out of epoxy putty like that. I'd never seen that anywhere else before. So I mean, like you do definitely have. I mean, don't sell yourself short. You do definitely have your own unique things to show and tell people. So anyway,
it's on Facebook. It's on Facebook. Oh, and I do have a video tutorial of how to do wood on YouTube.
Yes.
Just search for Paint Pusher Got Wood.
Paint Pusher Got Wood.
That's right, sir.
Yep.
It'll pop up. It'll pop up. Literally, that's the title of the video, Paint Pusher Got Wood.
It'll pop up. That's
that's right, sir.
That's just the right expression for that. All right. I asked in the chat there if anyone had any last questions for you. There's two just kind of easy last couple questions we'll take from the chat. One is, what are your opinions about third-party kits?
As in knockoffs or originals?
I assume they're talking about not straight bootlegs, but like Mechanicore or things like that, where they're making their own designs, but not Bandai.
Right, I'll just answer both of it. If it is their own design, That's kind of like the gray line kind of thing. It's sort of like
Yeah.
it's sort of like fan art in a way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If it is their own design, kind of thing. You know what I mean? But it's just based off a certain kit. But they do their own parts and they have their own like kind of spin on the thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's kind of fine. It's fan art essentially, but they are making money out of it. It is fan art with asterisks.
Yeah.
That's it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Right. About knockoff, right? I oppose it like wholeheartedly. I hate knockoff, right? Not because of any like high moral reason or anything like that. I have no pride at all, sir. But it's for a selfish reason.
Okay.
Basically, the way I understand it, right? When Bandai comes out with a kit, right? Like let's say the Balu, the price you have to pay for it, or the price they calculate into it, is the box art, the licensing, the raw material, the packaging, you know, and all that stuff, right? And the other thing they have to consider is bootlegging, the profit loss due to bootlegging, and they, you know, like an estimated bootlegging price to it, kind of thing, right? And they will actually kind of add that into the overall price of the product, right? I think that's the way it works. I mean, that's the way it works for most of like other stuff, you know, like gaming and toys and whatever kind of thing. That's the way it works, right? So I want to keep my hobby cheap.
Yeah.
So don't buy knockoff. Help us out, you know. keep our Gundam cheap and affordable. It is an awesome thing, and like basically, don't be a dick. If you like it, give them your money. You know, it supports them. They come out with new models because they get money from you. And like, if they want a certain kit, give them money.
Yeah.
They will make it eventually.
Yeah.
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 So yeah. So that's for both. I guess I don't know.
I think that answers it well enough. I don't know. I don't think I ever have seen you work with any third-party kits. Have I? Have you?
No, not really. I quite like just buying Bandai and making my own anyway.
Yeah, there's plenty to work with. Just what Bandai makes. So I think.
Yeah, basically. And none of my kit really ever turns out like it is on the box anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't. Like, I am interested in getting that. There's two things I'm really interested in. One of them you can't get it anymore. It's from a third party thing. But I saw it in like 1995. It's like ages ago. But like, it's a 1/100 scale Devil Gundam. But like the spider body. Okay, you know, it's like the whole entire spider body, right? But in 1/100 scale, it's all in resin. It is awesome, kind of thing. But like, I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." I didn't know where to get it, and that was like ages ago. Right? And now we can't find it anymore.
Yes.
Right? And the other one is I think someone did it. I'm not sure if it is still available, but it's the resin camphor kit. It's like 1 to 60 camphor kit.
160?
Yeah, 1 to 160. No, 1 to 60. Sorry, it was like the perfect grade.
Perfect grade size camphor?
Yeah.
I guess there's probably a G-Systems kit, I'd imagine.
Probably. I have no idea. But I saw it, I'm like, oh, awesome.
I imagine it probably
money on the screen and nothing is happening.
Something like that, like a resin kit. Have you ever worked much with the resin?
Not really. No, I've never really worked with resin. I have like played around with it, like liquid resin. You know, like the clear ones to make like water and stuff. But I've never really
with like
resin kind of thing.
Like a resin kit.
Yeah.
One other just kind of technical question that just from me, what do you usually use for your top coat there?
My top coat? Leyland. It's just lacquer spray. Okay, 5 seconds.
It's a local product, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Rocket. Okay. Oh, flat clear. All right. Okay. I use two. Right. One, a Leyland is like an auto spray kind of thing, lacquer. That's flat. If you can, yeah, okay, flat, and that's clear.
Okay.
Right. Like gloss, clear.
Yeah.
Like shiny flat, right? And usually, I will. Okay. Yep. Off. Okay. Right. You see how that's kind of. It's not shiny and it's not dull. It's more like a
Semi-gloss.
eggshell finish. Yeah, semi-gloss, basically. Kind of like a real cast iron look kind of thing. Right? That's how I do it. Basically, first, I go gloss clear all over it. So it looks like a new show car, kind of shiny candy.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right? Once that has dried, I'll spray a light coat of flat on it. So it comes out as like real cast metal kind of thing. Yeah. That's essentially what I do for
automotive top coat spray. That's interesting.
It's all right. No, it's really good. It protects it a lot because, like, you know, when you do all the painting and decal, it protects it. You know, when you're moving it around so the paint don't chip off and all that.
Yeah. Well, that's why I ask, because I'm currently still searching for the best thing that I can use here locally here in Korea of what's available to use for top coat. So.
What I say about like top coats and primers and all that, right? The best ones are the one you can readily find around you. Because you don't want to like, all right, you got your model. I don't have primer, so you got to wait another week to order it off eBay or the internet or same thing. But you know, you order it from somewhere and it takes a week or two before it gets here. Yeah, you know that when you want to do something and you have to wait, you know, I mean, it just goes away.
Yeah.
You don't feel like doing it anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah. So anything that's readily available around you, just use it. It's all good.
The other thing also I wanted to ask about, you showed the very top part of your current build.
Yeah.
Love Lost build.
Oh, yeah.
For fixing the pose for that, did you just glue the joints or did you peg the joints or did you modify that or what did you do?
Right. Yeah, it's a fixed pose, right? If it doesn't have to hold any weight, like major weight, I'll just super glue it together. But if you like that bit, right, that is actually how the whole entire thing stays up. So this will go into a Zaku, right? And if you go to the image, right, and you look at all the Zakus, right, they're touching ever so slightly.
Yeah.
Like the corner of knee to like a shoulder or something like that, right? And that's where I'll put these little things in, right? So one of every time they touch, right? Yeah, every time they touch, they'll have one of these things in. And what these things are, right? They're those Tamiya 4-wheel drive thing.
Like axles.
Yeah, the axle things, right? The reason why I use these instead of normal metal rods and all that, because those are round. These aren't round. They're hexagonal. Right. So once you glue it in, maybe put an epoxy a bit, it ain't gonna roll. It ain't gonna move anywhere because it's hexagonal. Yeah. So that's why I use these instead of just normal thing, and they are strong as hell. They really are. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, and another thing you can use that is rock solid. I mean, like you do this and it ain't gonna come off, right? Which is super glue and baking soda.
Baking soda.
Yeah, you mix super glue and baking soda together to form like a paste kind of thing. You put it on, and it's rock hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not gonna come off, bend or break. You can barely sand it. It's that hard.
Okay, noted. All right.
Yeah.
All right, then just one last question here before I'll give you a chance to just give kind of the last words. One other question I did just want to ask from the chat, which is a very common-ish question, maybe not the most exciting, but maybe you have an exciting answer for it. Is what is your favorite kit?
My favorite kit, well, design-wise, the camper, right? But building-wise, I am very, very impressed with the Sasabi version KA. Or Ka, I meant.
Yeah.
It is awesome. I mean, like, every single little detail. One more. There we go. Like, everything about it. You know what I mean? Like, how that comes off and that comes off. The shoulder goes up, down. You know, like, the back skirt. You know, how it moves everything. It is a beautiful, amazingly well-designed kit. I mean, look at him. Awesome.
Definitely.
I mean, I didn't mod it at all. Oh, yeah, the guns. But, like, you know, the actual thing. Like, I got pissed off at it because I couldn't mod it. You know, like, I couldn't modify it in any way, shape, or form because it's just perfect as is. You know what I mean? And I don't want to mess up the, you know, the design of it. But yeah, everything comes off. This thing's open. You know, the top thing, they open up. These thing comes out. And it moves. Right? And it's an awesome kit. This is my favorite kit right there to build. It was a real proper pleasure to build. Yeah.
It's
Sasabi version 2.
Bandai and Kotoki certainly at the height of their powers there.
Oh yeah, it is beautiful. The one thing though, I think 2013 winner, GBWC winner.
Yeah.
Right. They got a gold-plated version of that. Right, as like the prize, you know what I mean, for the World Cup. And like, yeah, it would be amazing, but at the same time, how frustrating would it be to actually like cut it and build all those parts? Because there's thousands of parts in here, probably. You know what I mean? Every single little thing has to fit into another thing, and you have to put. You know what I mean? Like you'll be so paranoid of like scratching off a little bit of the gold code, and you're like, ah.
Yeah. I don't know if I was the winner and I had that kit, it would be a real struggle, I think, for me to decide whether I wanted to keep that or just sell it, because you could probably sell that for quite a lot.
Yeah, man. I mean, like 2 in the world, pretty much. You know, for like junior and world champion.
Yeah.
But you won. Come on, you won. You would. But yeah, it'd be hell to build. It would be hell to build.
Yeah. Probably what I would end up doing is just keeping it and just never building it.
Yeah, or framing every single little like sprues up. You know.
That would be cool too.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool idea. All right, so just to end up, just to wrap up, I guess I should say end up. It's not really right. Any just last message you want to let people know? Obviously, visit your Facebook page, but I mean not like promoting anything, but just maybe last message to the people.
We are all artists who chose modeling as an art form, and Gunpla as our canvas. So have fun with it.
That seems to pretty much wrap up your take from what I can gather. So yeah, that says it all.
Thanks for having me, friend.
I think you've done a really excellent job of managing to go through everything that you've said without once ever saying Gunpla is freedom. So I'll
oh, you said it! Buzzers going off.
That was like I was like, you're dancing like so close to that edge of saying that so many times. Like,
I live on the edge, my friend. I live on the edge.
I was just wondering, like, yeah, is he ever gonna just say that or what? But like, like you got into Gunpla through build fighters and your whole like thinking outside the box and not constraining yourself in like your techniques and your combinations of things and things like that. So I'm like, ah, he's gonna say it. He's gonna say it eventually. But
is there a sign back there that if I do say it, it'll pop down? Like
yeah, I had like balloons and fireworks ready here, like to go off, like when you're gonna say it behind me.
Awesome.
No, but yeah, thank you so much for your time. I think we will have to have a part 2 later.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, because I think you have a lot of good insight to share, I think. So thanks for that. And good luck next weekend.
Thank you.
In Tokyo. I mean, just enjoy it, hey? I'm sure you will.
Oh, hell yeah, hell yeah.
No doubt about that. So
finally getting to meet Tim in real life as well.
Yep. And everyone else. So yeah, we'll be looking forward to seeing. I told Tim, and I think he wasn't really planning on taking a lot of video. I told him, and I think we were talking about this in our Gunpla Talk group chat, like, don't really bother taking too much video, but at the same time, I do kind of hope someone takes a lot of video, because it was great last year seeing Josh's video that he took while he was there. His little video that he put together was really, really cool. So I hope someone there makes a video of that. We'll have to see.
I'll do my best.
I'm not saying it has to be you, but just...
No. There's a big head right there somewhere, sir.
Oh, I'm just saying, someone. You'll
saying.
Be there anyway, at least.
I won't be mad if you don't, but I'll be disappointed.
Whoever you see around you, if someone else there has a camera, be like, hey, why don't you post that video on YouTube or something later? Anyway,
I'll be a video mugger. Give me your video.
I'm looking forward to seeing everything there vicariously through someone. Anyway, so yeah, thanks for your time. Just a couple last things I want to just talk about here concerning my channel, just to wrap up. I just want to say thank you everyone who has been watching this live and participating with the chat. Just a couple hours ago, I posted a new video on my channel announcing the 3rd prize set giveaway from stuff in Tokyo. Speaking of the Gunpla Expo, just again, that is the made version Super Fumina and the clear RGX, yeah? So if you haven't seen that video, I just put that up like 2 hours ago. So anyone, if you want to win that stuff, you can check that video out and comment on that to win. And there'll be more giveaway stuff coming out. And also this weekend is Gunpla Talk, so check the Gunpla Talk Facebook page as well for the time and the video link for that. That will be live, I think that's 6 p.m. New York time, 8 a.m. Seoul, Korea time. So like for Win, that's like 6 a.m. for you. So I imagine you probably don't watch that live. But if you guys want to watch it live, you can watch it at that time. Otherwise, you can just watch it later here on my channel. Our topic this month is we're going to be talking about the entries for this year's GBWC. Anyway, we did that last year. It was quite fun, so we'll do it again. Anyway, thank you very much, Win. That's it.
Pleasure, sir. Thank you for having me again.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.